It's Global Day of Action on Climate Change. Hundreds of people are gathered here outside Queen's Park, calling on the federal government to do more when it comes to addressing the climate crisis. This includes fixing historic and ongoing injustices.
It's probably one of the most important, if the most important issue of our time, right?
Hundreds gather outside, standing side by side on this sunny Saturday, holding posters and chanting,
"Planet's under attack, what do we do?"
echoing the same message. Canada needs to make the climate a priority.
We're here to demand climate justice. We're here to demand more rapid action on climate change, so phasing out of fossil fuels, respecting Indigenous sovereignty, and transitioning workers to a decarbonized economy.
One of the organizers of today's events, Ali Rougeau, says days like this are extremely important because Canadians are invited to be a part of the conversation.
I believe that if we look after the earth and take care of the earth and address the issues of justice around that, we're addressing the issues of justice among race and poverty and other issues as well.
What are your thoughts on what the federal government is doing so far when it comes to the climate?
So far, the federal government in the past few weeks has signaled that they care more than they did before. They've appointed ministers that know well the files, and that has been a positive change for us. At the same time, we haven't seen actions. We haven't seen a throne speech or a budget to show us that the priorities are actually there.
Protesters here in Toronto are closely watching what's happening at the COP26 Summit in Glasgow. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has made a few promises over the past few days, which include capping oil and gas sector emissions to ensure they decrease at a pace and scale needed to reach net zero by 2050. Trudeau also says Canada has doubled climate financing, including up to $1 billion for the transition away from coal and ending exports of thermal coal by no later than 2030. Rougeau, like so many here, is hopeful despite the slow progress.
As a young person, I always feel a little disheartened when I see what is essentially my future reduced to a few points on an agenda or in a speech. And so when there's days today that are entirely dedicated to solutions, to what are we going to do together, and when I see just a lot of people standing in solidarity, it's very positive.
The organizer we spoke with says it feels a lot more powerful holding an in-person event like this where you could see people, hear their concerns, read their signs, opposed to holding online events which were done during the pandemic. At Queen's Park for City News, I'm Maleeha Sheikh.